So I'll click the fill, I'll click shape, star. I'll hold control to keep it correct. Hit enter. And I'll kind of move it into position, and I guess I'll move it like that. Let me make it pink. I'll make it dark. Okay. So what you have to do though is, because if the star is going to be a fill and you have a fill under it, well, you can't have that. You have to cut these stripes out. And this little piece down here is gonna kind of bug me. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit and make it so that, let's see, so that we don't have to deal with that. I know that's cheating. So there's my star, but then we have to cut this out. But you don't want to cut it out. You don't want to cut these stripes out using this star. If this is our star that we're going to put a nice decorative fill on, then that's fine. But just know that when we do our cutting out, in other words, build shaping difference with these stripes, when we do that cutting out, we want to use a smaller version of the star so that our stripes go underneath the star a little bit so we don't have gaps. So I guess what we could do is, before we even assign it params, just Control C, Control V on the star, and then the new one, we'll make it red because it's a utility object, and we'll go to Transform, Offset, Shrink, and we'll shrink it 2 mils again. That's fine because it'll our overlap then will be 1 mil in. So the red one now is the one that we're going to use with these stripes to do transform shaping difference. And so we have to do it on the blue, the orange, this one, and this one. So we have to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So let's just start with the blue. And I can't remember if I could just select them down here or if I have to ungroup them. 1 sec. Let me hit Control S. I'll be right back. Okay, so yes, it does make you ungroup them. So you can't just click on here and say pick one of these fills down here and then hold Control and pick the star and do build shaping difference. Yes, it'll let you do it, but it's not going to take the difference of that like third blue one that you chose. It's going to only take the difference of the very first one in the group. I'll show you what I mean. See, it took that one. So I'll just delete it. So you do have to ungroup these. You can't work with the parts window. So we'll just right click, group, we'll ungroup it. The first one, we have to cut off this part. So we'll select it and come down to the red, hold Control, build, shaping, difference. So it kept the difference here. As you can see, it's got the perfect overlap because it's overlapping into the red, but remember this green is the one we're really going to use. So that one's done. So now they're going to have this same color of their original, looks like, because that obviously is the back object. The blues are behind the red, the orange is behind the red. So when I do the orange, it's gonna select the orange one too. But we're just going to do all the blues so that we don't get orange, blue, or whatever. So that was the one blue. We'll change the colors later. And the second blue then, number 13, and hold control, build shaping difference. Okay, there's that one. You can see it's perfectly coming in. And oh, that's right, it still made this one. But we're still going to have it because the red ended up being smaller. So I guess I'm not going to get around that. Maybe if I finagled a little more, but I could have moved the red and the green together to try to eliminate a little piece like this, but we'll just let it go. So that was our difference, those two parts, this one and this one. And here they are here. So then we just have this blue one, so the third blue one. Just remember to select the, the fill and not the connection. 1, 2, 3. And hold control, star, build, shaping difference. And that one is, kind of like that, kind of cool looking. And we've just got one object. So the blues are all done. Now we have to do 2 of the oranges. So maybe with these blues, I'll hold shift and I'll just group them for now. And maybe I'll make them like, I don't know, a darker blue. And so I can take these now and regroup them. I don't really need them anymore. So now that I'm deciding to bring the star in, obviously I might have to fix my connections and whatnot. Who knows? But I was just showing you how I created the stripes, from the get-go without a star even on it. So, but we'll visit that when we're done creating them all, see how they stack up. So we'll right click and we'll group these again, and we don't need them anymore. So click and then hold. I am selecting it. Okay. Forgot the bottom one. I have to bring it down. I was like, it's a ghost. So bring it back, ungroup it, and this bottom one and its connection, I'm just gonna see if I can drag them both down, insert after, and you can't set identical to more than one in Studio Next. That's the other thing I don't like. You have to do them one at a time or group them first. So since there's only 2, I'll just do it that way. Click here, hold shift, group. Let's hide these. Okay. And then I could generate these blue ones, these other blue ones, but I'll wait. I'll just wait. So let's take the orange. I'll hit Control S and we'll ungroup them. And the first one, hold Control, the red, build shaping difference. There's that shape, perfect. And we just have one more. This one, hold Control, build shaping difference. We got 2 of them, this one and this one. And so we're done with these oranges, but we have to bring the second orange down. So drag it down, insert after, and then these I'll just click, hold shift, group, hide. And then these new ones, I will make a different color. Whoops, wait a minute. I took one of, let's see, what did I do? Okay, they're grouped up there. Okay, I hid the wrong thing. I meant to hide this. Okay. And then, so these, do kind of want to make them a different color than the original orange. I guess I'll just make them a dark orange. So you can see we now have to give connections again to the orange and to the blue. Let's go back up to the blue. You can see all the scissors. So once we brought that star in, we have to redo our connections. So if you know you're going to cut into your striped circle, maybe you want to wait off on doing all that work for the connections. So we're going to ungroup the blue and we'll just do the connections again. So the blue is going to stitch first. So remember we were going to make it through the center. So let's just go ahead and see if we can save some time. Okay, so this starting point is over here. It's not on the edge, but it's starting on the edge of the circle. So I'm going to kind of make it start here. Place the start point here so it's not on the edge of the circle. And I'm going to actually make the end point there too. It looks like it is there. Wait, where is the end point? If you hit end on your keyboard, yeah, I think it is the end point. Let me pull this away. Yeah, it's the end point. Control Z. Okay, so it's the start and the end point. And then this one will hit edit. And it's starting there, that's fine. But we'll want it to end down here. So right click, place endpoint. Okay. And then we can just go ahead and create connection. There it is there. So we didn't have to do any work there. And then here, this one, let's just see where the connection, okay. If we're going to have it do that, then we better have this one end over here more. We'll have it end like way inside. And then we'll have this one start over here. So let's go ahead and edit that again. Sorry. I'll have it end here because it's just going to make a connection. It's not a tie or anything. So place endpoint here. So now that connection jumped. So it went right through the star. And, you know, the star is going to stitch after these stripes. So that's fine. We can leave that. But then, where is this ending? I can see it's ending on the top of it. I don't want it ending on the top. I want it ending on the bottom. I saw the red dot over here that it was ending on the top. I'm going to magnify that. So we want it to end lower. Place endpoint. Okay. And I'm just going to, I don't know, I'll just use my minus button. You hold it down. Sometimes if you don't hold it too long, you won't zoom out too terribly much. Okay. So then this next blue one, okay, there's that one, that connection there. This next blue one will have it start here and we'll have it end over here because it's already going to this blue one on over here. So let's edit. We will, I don't want to ride it along here, along the edge of the star. So I'm going to click here and insert and place the start point there. And click here, place the end point there. So now there's my connection to this blue. And it's funny, it's not, showing you all of it. But if I edit the blue, you can see it's actually starting and ending there, which is fine. Because it's not making a tie-on, because it's making a connection. So it is okay to just leave it like that. So then the blues are done. Shift, right click. Oh, did I see a scissor? Oh, did something wrong. Oh, I didn't make my connection. I didn't right click on this and make a connection. Duh. After I placed the start point here, but I forgot to right click and make connection. Right click, create connection. Okay. So there's my connection. It's still going on the edge of the star. I just kind of don't like that. Kind of don't like that. I almost would rather it, this one, Control 1 to zoom in. That's a little too much. I know it's a little piece, but I'm going to click here, insert. I'm going to make the ending point here. I just, when they're little like this, you just don't want a lot of density going on. Okay, so now, click something big. Control 1. Okay. Now all the blues are done. Control S, Hold Shift. So now they're done for the star. So that's completely different than before. And that's why, like, you may not want to delete those other stripes and whatnot. I probably should have copied and pasted them, when I grouped them. Let me group this. Like up here, when I grouped these with just these in it and not the bottom one. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have just copied and pasted this bottom one to bring down to its new place. Because, you may want to revisit this striped circle with all the stripes intact and connected correctly and so on. I should have done that. I really should have. Let me do that. So it was these two, Control C, Control V, and then I'll drag them up. Oh, I can't use my pen. Use my, sometimes, okay. So then, where is it? It wasn't there. It was down farther. I went up too far. Here, there's only two. Insert after. And set identical color. Whoops. Set identical color. And now I'm going to click this one, hold Shift, and click this one. And when I right click to group them, even though group 1 is taken, I want a new group 1. So I'm going to just group 1 again, right? That's how you do that when you just want it to stay. And like I said, I should have done that same thing with the blues, because the bottom blue one, the blues up here you see are missing their bottom one. Now I already changed the connection on it and everything, but oh well, at least I'm going to take it and Control S and put it back there. See, these are things you don't think of like right away, that you may want it later, and who knows if I'll ever remember that it's there. But well, this one didn't change. The connection in this didn't change, so I lucked out. Control C, Control V, and then these two, I'll just drag them up. Here it is. Insert after. Set identical color. Set identical color. Hold Shift. Right click group 1. Same scenario. Okay. And you could see that they're hidden, but I think this means that they're partially hidden, because the two that I copied and pasted, same thing down here. So if you want it totally hidden, it's like you have to click it, unhide it, and then hide it again. Now they're totally hidden. Same thing here. You have to unhide it. This long hide has got to go. It's got to go. That and the move, when you align something, that has to be fixed. See, I can't. Okay. And now I'll hide it. Okay. Control S. So if I ever remember, that's there. So the blues are done. I haven't even done the oranges again. It doesn't take this long when you're not explaining it. So the blues are all done. There's no scissors except for the first one, of course. Group 1. So now for the reds, or rust, I can't even remember what I did. So these are going to go on the edges. That's what we decided. So let's just, so we've got this one, and then it jumps down to this one, but I want it to be this one. So I'm going to take my right mouse, drag, let go, insert before. Looks like I messed up. I'm just going to delete that because I don't want to deal with it. So this one, I could see it's ending up at the top here, and we don't want that. So right away I could see, edit, see how it's starting up there. That's fine, but I'm going to click here, insert, click, insert, right click, place, endpoint there. Okay. And so this one, it's ending down here somewhere. Oh, wait a minute. These are the orange ones we can't go through. I forgot. I am so sorry. The end point can't be there. So it really has to be on the edge. These have to travel on the edge. I mean, they could travel inside the star. We could make them travel into the star and then over. If we don't want them to travel on the edge, that's another thought. Yeah, I'll do that. In which case, I'll put the end, click that, click, right click, place the end point here. Okay. And then for this next one, maybe I will have this one stitched next. Insert before. So then this one, it's ending down here, but we probably wanted to, we'll have it start like here. Or let's see. Which way's the arrow going? Let me zoom in. I'm going to insert. Maybe I'll have it start there. I'll have it start here. Because then I'll make my connection like come around. And then here, because if this is going first, then we're going to this one next. I completely forgot. Okay, so we will have it end here. See, I keep changing my mind. Sorry. Okay. So let's make our connection first so we don't get confused. Right click, create connection. So that connection, I'm going to edit it. I'm going to just drag it up like that. I might make it sharp and then insert so that it's like that. I don't know. For some reason, it just might be better. And so that one's done. And then for this one to the next one, we want this one to start like, you know, right on the edge here. So, and there's not going to be a tie on or anything, so we don't have to worry about the bulk on the star. So, let's just go ahead and edit this one so we know we want the start point there. It's going that way, so click here and then insert and then place start point here. But then to get to the next orange one, the only way we can get to it is to go on the outside. So we're going to click here and have it end there. Okay. And now we'll right click on it. Let's move it over. Right click on it and create connection. Let's see our connection. It just goes right across the star, which is fine. And then, you know, so it connects to this one. This one ends there. And then this one, we want it then to start right there. So this last one, let me hit Control S, edit it. It is starting there and it's ending over here, but that's fine. So when we right click, create connection, I wish they would highlight what I created. I created a connection. I think that's what Studio Regular does. So we want to zoom in on that. I can hit Control 1, but of course it's going to be really close. And we'll hit Edit. We have Snap to Node and Object Edge. That looks close enough. Okay. So now there's no connections. There's no scissors. Shift, click, right click, group 1, Control 1, zoom out with my minus. Control 1 zooms to whatever's selected. I think I might have told you guys that. But okay, so the stripes are done. The star, we don't need this red star anymore. We're going to drag it up. We're going to click and hide it. The green star is the one we're using, and the green star is going to stitch last. Insert after, and we'll hold Shift. I'll Control S before I generate. Now I'll generate. We're in 3D, so we'll be able to see what it looks like. And there you have it. Now, oh, since I redid these, they're not going in the right way. So I could I'll just click them and make them 90 degrees because I know they're all this, you know, they're all the same. Well, it'll be 100 degrees. I left the spacing at 4.0. Usually I go 4.2, but I don't know, it's up to you. And the pull comp is at 0.1. A lot of people make that at 0.2. See, it just gets a little bit of gappy, so we'll just go down. And like I said, okay, if you want, that's your underlay. My pull comp, you can up it to 0.2 and hit apply. I left this at the default of 1.4. That could make your edges jaggedy or not. I could have increased that or decreased it to say if your rows are, if your spacing, meaning your density, is above 0.35, then complete the row. My density is at 0.4. If I put 0.35, it might get smoother, it might get worse. I don't know. So there's my pull comp then at 0.2. I'll just try this at 0.35 and see if it looks better or not. Oh, it goes to 0.4. So it has to be above 0.4. So you can only go intense. Sorry. So we'll see. It might make it worse. It might, because you might want it to not complete it, because on a circle you don't want it to look you want it to look a little slanted or what have you. So I'm going to just go back to the default of 1.4. We're going to have outlines anyways. I'll hit apply. Done. And my star, I didn't use the default fill. I could just drag down the other star, but I mean the other parameters of the other star, but I used yeah, I don't remember. I might have to drag it down. You want to select here instead of here, because if you select here, you skip a bunch of them. So you want to scroll this way. I might have used pavement 2, but I did it at 50%. Since my star was so small, now you can't see it. So I'll hit apply. No, it doesn't look like that's what I used on this one. I generate it. So let's just go in and see. Old window. But I did it at 50%. Interesting. I don't know which one I like better. To be honest, this looks good too. But let's see. Drag it down. Sometimes if you go like this, you can get down faster. Set identical params, click it, generate. Because it doesn't, you can't see much in that yellow color. Okay, so there it is there. That's fine too. Either of them is good. So that would be my fill objects then that I would start with, just these three, the 2 stripes and the star. Control S. That's what I would start with then to do my auto outlining. So with the auto outlining, you use the green star. You don't use the small tiny red one that we use to cut the fills. That's the difference. When you're cutting the fills, yeah, you want to shrink the star. You want to shrink the one that's on top. Use it as a tool and then go back to your bigger one for your final. So there you go, guys. I know that was pretty long and drawn out, and there might be easier ways to do it, but I am so OCD that, I have to do it this way. And you can see this little line here of this orange. Now, if you didn't want that there, then you would have to have you would have to have a jump stitch. Okay, so down here, here's the orange. Instead of this connection, you would delete it, and then you'd have a scissor there, so you'd have a tie on for this one, which means you'd have a tie off on this one, which means you should probably put the ending on this one in a little, like right there, and you should put the starting node in a little, like right there, because you're going to have ties, and you don't want ties on your edge. So that's just so, for your own benefit. But since we're putting a decorative outline around this eventually in those next two videos, this little line here is fine. It's fine. All right, guys, I know these colors are so ugly, but sometimes you run out of colors and you just want to make sure they're all different as you're working with all your objects. So, good luck. I hope you enjoyed this. All right, we'll catch you later. Bye.